Welcome to Kathryn Raaker's World. Innovation, culture, adventure, fashion and health, artists, destinations, traditions. This is Kathryn Raaker's World.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of Kathryn Raaker's World. I'm really excited today because we have such a wonderful guest who lives out in the middle of a rural area in the woods preserve. His name is Jim Hough, and he's going to discuss his newest book, 89 Years and Still Evolving. And the book will be available in early fall when he turns 90. In the collection of essays and miscellaneous writings, Mr. Hough reflects on the serenity of retirement, living in the middle of his own private forest and wildlife preserve in southeast Indiana. Mr. Hough retired at the end of 1998 at the age of 68, ending more than 35 years in private professional geologist and licensed professional engineer. He is a lecturer emeritus from the University of Cincinnati Evening College. And Mr. Hough is an author and co-author of a number of published technical and scientific professional papers and books. His life in retirement has become mostly reading and writing since losing his wife to cancer 12 years ago. You'll be able to purchase the new book on Amazon at Barnes & Noble and several other outlets. And I want to welcome you to our show. Mr. Hough, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And I'm honored. You also were in the military, correct?
Oh yes, Korea.
Korea. So, a Korean veteran. That's wonderful.
Yeah, Korean War.
War. Right. So, we're right in the middle of your gorgeous, beautiful preserve and forest, right?
Yes.
And tell me something. Why did you pick this particular spot?
Well, I was looking for a particular topographic situation where I could build a dam and back up a lake, back up water.
Right.
So I wanted a forest, the more trees the better.
Right.
And I found this forest, which was what we call an open forest, not a whole lot of undergrowth.
Not a lot of undergrowth, so
Yeah.
you don't have to take care of it, right?
No.
Like if you were somewhere.
I have no grass to mow except on the crest of the dam,
Right.
the earth dam, and of
Right.
course my grandson mows that now.
Oh, that's good. So you have how many children?
I have two sons.
2 sons, and how many grandchildren?
I have 2 grandchildren. Well,
Oh.
excuse me, 3.
3 grandchildren. Okay.
My youngest son died in 2011,
I'm so sorry.
but my oldest son and his family live across the lake from me in a log home that
Wow.
I built for them
Right.
2002.
We're going to see a little bit of this today. We're going to talk a little bit about nature because this is where you live, right?
Yes.
And this is what's exciting about your life is this preserve, correct?
Yes.
So let's maybe take a walk down here and see a couple of things that you might want to talk about.
All right.
Okay, can we do that? Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about a little bit about the house that you built. I mean, you did all of this, am I correct?
Yes.
And you were 68 or 69 at the time?
No. I bought this land in 1971,
Okay.
and we lived in suburban Cincinnati
Right.
in Coleraine Township. And we bought this as a weekend
Retreat?
retreat. And we built an A-frame, which is located back over there, and stayed there the weekends, and our children learned to swim in this lake.
Oh, really? You can swim in the lake?
Oh, yes, you can swim in there.
It's not polluted either, is it?
No. I own the entire drainage area, so there's absolutely no pollution.
Was it man-made?
Because, yes, I designed and built the dam and backed up the water. It took 11 months and 3 weeks to fill to the overflow.
Wow.
That's how deep it is. It's 23 feet deep.
Wow.
And
Well, now we know where we can come and go swimming, right?
yes, and it has the best fishing anywhere around.
Well, you know, I love fishing. My husband doesn't like it, but I do. Right.
I built my retirement home in 1985,
Right.
but we did not retire until the end of 1998,
Okay.
and that's when we moved over here permanently.
So you built this before you moved in here, correct?
Yes, I built it in 1985, but we didn't move in until the end of 1998.
Right. So let's look at some of the trees and some of the if we could have the cameraman.
This tree behind you
Okay.
is a shagbark hickory.
It's a shed bark
Yes,
hickory.
you see the shaggy bark.
Yes, I do.
And at nighttime, the bats fly over the lake and clean out all the mosquitoes. Bats love mosquitoes and bugs.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I have 0 mosquitoes or no CMs in the forest.
Wow.
None whatsoever. You don't feel any now, do you?
No.
The first
And they
forest,
love me.
the first forest you've ever been in that there are no mosquitoes.
Right. Because that's one of the things that I'm one of those people that can walk outside at certain times of the day or night and they attack me. And then I get these huge welts that are about that big. And I have them for 10 days. So that's the reason why I sprayed myself, because I didn't know before I came here, basically, if there were mosquitoes or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love the forest. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's really beautiful. And you can see the lake from here, which is really
Yes, I will
exciting.
take you down on the downs.
Okay, we'll talk about that. But
But
let's talk
this,
about the tree.
But this is what you call a mother tree. This is a female tree.
Female and male trees.
Yeah,
Right.
You have male and female trees.
Right.
This is a mother tree, and only the mother tree produces hickory nuts.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
she doesn't start producing hickory nuts until she's 50 years old at least.
Oh, wow.
50 years old or older.
So how old do you think this tree is?
I don't
Jim?
know.
You don't know?
I would suspect that it's at least 175 years old.
Wow.
There's no living person that saw this tree when it was a sapling.
Oh, wow.
That's
So
for
let
sure.
me ask this question. The hickory nuts, do you eat the hickory nuts?
Oh, they're great. Yeah, we can gather up. They start falling in late September and October, and you can gather them, just pick them right off the ground,
Right.
put them in a bucket or something, and
Do you bake
then,
them?
And
Do you
then,
bake them?
and then in the wintertime, crack them with a hammer,
Okay.
and then pick the nuts out. They make the best cookies you've ever eaten.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, they are fantastic.
Well, I am going to ask you for those hickory nuts for our cooking show, so I can make those wonderful
Okay,
cookies you're talking
I will
about.
give you my wife's recipe for these cookies.
Oh, wow.
Delicious cookies. You
Wow.
can't.
I can't wait.
stop eating them.
You can't stop eating
But,
them. Okay.
The bats nest under the shagbark.
Oh,
on
really?
These shagbark trees. That's where they nest. And that's where
There's none there right now,
but,
is there?
that's where they are. Well, we have so many hickories in this forest.
Oh, you have a lot of
They're
hickory
all
trees.
over, so they're away from my house.
Okay.
They're more, I mean, they don't particularly care for humans.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh, bats don't. Okay.
So they're out in the forest in the shagbark hickory trees.
Okay, so let's talk about, if you don't mind, you've got poison ivy, right? You want to spray or something?
Poison ivy, yes.
Okay, but
There's poison ivy in this forest, but nature grows the cure for poison ivy,
Right here.
right next to it.
So let's see something. Why don't you give me your papers, if you don't mind? And I'm going to put them down because we don't need them right this minute. Okay, so let's see what you're talking about, Jim.
Well, for example, this weed right here, it has three names: burnweed,
Burnweed,
touch me not,
touch me not.
and I can't think of the third name right now.
Okay.
But at any rate, this grows. It looks kind of shabby now, but this grows until mid-October to late October.
Right.
And it gets pretty large. It gets as big as my little finger.
Okay. So it's got a wide breadth.
Yes.
Okay.
But I can cure poison ivy overnight. If you happen to have poison ivy, I can pull this burnweed or touch me not and take a knife and split it right down the middle.
Get the sap out.
Pardon?
Get the sap out.
Yes. And then lay it open and take a knife and press it, get the sap flowing. And after you take your shower at night, rub this on the affected area. You get up the next morning and it's dried up.
Oh, wow. How did you find that out?
From a naturalist
Okay.
in south of Evansville in in western Kentucky. A naturalist, we were in, what's the name of the man's name starts with A that lived back in the 17 or 1800s that painted flowers or painted birds?
I'm not sure. We'll look it up, though. Okay.
At any rate, the forest is named for him down there. And I learned this from the naturalist.
So when you decided you were a geologist, you were an engineer, you did all these wonderful things. When did you start really, as a geologist, you appreciated nature as well, right?
Obviously.
Obviously. That's why you're doing this. That's why you live here, right?
Yes.
Right. So what's another thing that you are, when I'm looking around, so you use a lot of the different things here for natural health and wellness, am I correct?
Yes.
So what would be another thing that you would want to show us out here?
I can show you my big rock.
Let's go
I
see
don't know if you noticed the big rock when you drove in.
Right. Yeah, I did. And we need to take a short break. So let's give a pitch for your book that's coming out. Go ahead.
All right. The book contains essays and writings on various topics, about 13 to 15 different topics. And my habits are reading and writing. As I read, I always have a pen and paper with me, and I get ideas and I jot them down and then assemble them, put them together to make sense. And
Right. So we need to take a short break, and we'll be right back on Kathryn Raaker's World with Jim Hough. And 89 years and evolving, and we're in his beautiful preserve, and we're in nature right now. So the air smells really good. All right, we'll be right back. Jim, we're back now, and this is what you built yourself, and we're looking at the dam over here, and with the this is the dam right here. This is the dam. Okay, I got that. All right, and then you have a beautiful lake over here that you fish in, and you also swim. So I bet the kids love coming here, and especially now during this heat wave we've been having. And
this dam is 32 feet tall.
Right.
You measure the height of the dam from the downstream elevation. So it's 32 feet tall. It's a little more than 10,000 cubic feet of earth.
Oh, wow.
And to create the lake,
Uh-huh.
I excavated the earth for the dam.
Oh, wow.
So the earth to build the dam came from where the lake is.
Wow. So can you walk all the way around
Oh,
to
yes.
that other area where that is? So this is a pathway to go over there, correct? How
this-
many docks do you have here?
There's two docks. I have a floating dock here,
Right.
and that dock I built in 1972.
The big one over there? Or
Yeah,
this one?
the stable one over
The
there.
stable one over there. So that's where you fish. Do you get in the lake with your boat or anything like that?
My boat is right behind you.
Okay, so that's the boat right there,
Yes.
right? Okay.
I don't fish as much now.
You don't?
I do fish with my grandsons
Right.
every now and then, but they've learned to fish by themselves now too.
Now, they're older. I mean, you've got a younger one. You've got a young
I have
one,
1 8
right?
and one that's almost 8 and one that's 12.
Wow, that's great. So, is there anything else you want to talk about right here where we are?
Well, the lake is 23 feet deep, the deepest,
Right.
and the most beautiful black crappie you'll ever see,
Right.
and huge bluegill, and the slabs are about the size of Delaware.
Wow. I've never had that fish before, so you must like to. Do you like to cook?
No, I am not a cook, but I do charcoal.
You do charcoal, so you like to grill, right?
Yeah, yes, I like to charcoal. I charcoaled a filet mignon just the day before yesterday.
Wow, wow. So do you get together with your family a lot?
Oh yes, my grandchildren are in and out
Oh, that's good.
my house.
That's great. That keeps you
almost
young,
every
doesn't
day.
it? Does that keep you young?
Yes, it used to keep me younger, but I don't get to spend as much time with them now as I used to.
Okay, so let's go see the rock that you're talking about. And we're just going to take a break here and we'll be right back. Ready? Jim, what? You have all these signs all over. Tell us about them.
Well, this is a sign provided by the state of Indiana that identifies this as a classified wildlife and habitat area. And it's also a classified forest. It can never be developed. Classified means that this forest will remain as is, a natural area forever. It will never be developed.
Wow. And how long has it been under Indiana's classified wildlife?
Since about 1980.
Okay. Can you tell how many acres this is right now?
About 60 acres.
60 acres. Okay, that's wonderful.
But the forest actually extends more than a mile to the south.
Wow. That's beautiful. How did you find it?
Well, I was searching southeast Indiana for a forest that had the topography suitable to build a dam and back up a lake that had the shape of a Y.
Okay.
And
Why the Y?
a Y.
No, I know why.
Oh,
No, why did you do a Y?
I wanted to have a peninsula
Okay.
on which I would build a beach, a sand beach,
Okay.
for my sons to swim in, and for my wife and I to swim in too, and to build a permanent stable dock beside it.
Wow. And so on the other side of the Y, what's there?
Well, the driveway goes, the other part of the Y goes to my son's house.
Right, which he built or you built?
I had it built.
You had it built.
It's a log home, And I can't build a logo. I had to have that.
Yeah, I
built
had to
by-
have that done, right?
by professionals.
By professionals. Okay, so we're going to go over to that area and see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're back with Jim Hough, and this is a sign that's very special to him. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a sign that I put up many years ago. It says, of course, end of earth 100 feet, heaven 200 feet. I got the idea in Marquette, Michigan. I think their sign said, end of earth 1 mile, Marquette County 4 miles.
Right. This is beautiful. It's such a pleasure to be able to see a nature preserve like this, so close to actually the city. How far out are you here from one of the, like Lawrenceburg or Aurora?
The nearest place is Moores Hill, and that's 5 miles.
5 miles from here.
And
Okay.
there is a farm there at Mount Moores Hill that has buffalo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have 7 buffalo there.
Wow.
And
Would they let us do, not today, but would they let us do
Oh,
something
yes.
with them?
I'm sure they would.
Right.
They would let you let us go in and photograph the buffalo, and
Right.
the place is a very, very beautiful place.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Thank you so very much for sharing this with us, and we'll be right back. We're back on Kathryn Raaker's World with Jim Hough, and the geologist, the engineer, and we're looking at something that he brought back from a major job. So let's talk a little bit about how this huge rock came into your possession.
Well, this rock is pink granite called plagioclase feldspar. That's the mineral name.
Okay.
And I was the geotechnical engineer of Raaker for a huge excavation project in suburban Cincinnati. And we excavated 2 of these rocks. Now this rock, or these 2 rocks were brought down by the glaciers
Wow.
more than 10,000 years ago, and were deposited and in that particular area. So I asked the contractor, there were 2 of them, this was the largest one. I asked the contractor if I could have the largest one. I wanted to put it in front of my office building. So he said, you get it out of here and it's yours. So I got hold of the largest truck wrecker company in Cincinnati, and he agreed to move this rock over to this area.
I love this because you've got your address on it. How did you make that happen, Jim?
I got hold of a Tombstone fella, and he
Engraved it?
engraved that address, 12887. This weighs 244 pounds per square foot. I don't know how many square feet are in this rock,
I can imagine.
but a very large number. Now the wrecker could pick up 38,000 pounds without having to put his jacks down. To lift the rock, he had to put his jacks down. And I have a photograph of me standing under the front end of that wrecker because he tied on to the rock, did not put his jacks down, and raised the front end of the wrecker off the ground. And I have a photo of me standing under that.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, next thing you did was to
Put the jacks down.
put the front end down, put the jacks down, raise it up, and put it on the low boy, which he pulled behind the wrecker. And
How long did it take to do the whole operation? Do you remember?
to take it from the site to my office was about 45 minutes, I guess.
And then when did you bring it out here?
I brought it out here when I moved out here.
Okay.
And, well, I'll take that back. I brought it out here when I sold my office building,
Okay.
which was in Cincinnati, and I moved it out here and got hold of the same record, and he moved it over here.
Bet he was thrilled to hear from
So
you.
it may weigh twice 38,000 pounds. I don't know.
Wow, that's pretty
But
cool.
it is a pretty good sized rock. It takes a big pocket to put it in.
Right, that's for sure. So is there another part of the forest that you would like to talk about? Or would you like to, say, go over to your sons and show the log cabin? What would you like to do?
We can if you want to.
Okay, all
We
right.
can go over there.
Okay. So Jim, we've come to the end of the first part of the first of two-piece series, and basically what I'd like you to do is to let people know where they can purchase your new book, 89 Years in Evolving, right?
Yes. It will be available in September or October this year, and it can be obtained at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and a number of other places that I don't have in mind right now.
Okay, and we wanna continue our story. So we're actually going to have a second part of the program so that people can see some of the things that you've done and your house that you built, your son's house, correct? Did you help him build it?
Oh yes.
Okay, so we'll continue the story, and we want to thank you for joining us today on the first part of the series with Jim Hough, the wonderful geologist, nature preservist,
Nature Preserve.
and his beautiful nature preserve. And we'll see you next time on Kathryn Raaker's World. Don't forget to go to our website at kathrynraakersworld.com.